So since I've had many different trips with DMT, there's no possible way that I'd be able to like memorize all of them or like even remember anything or bring back anything. So I took it upon myself to like draw a bunch of just little doodles after I would trip most of the time. Sometimes I didn't do this just because like I didn't have a pencil and paper with me, but like if I did have it, then I would try to just like draw the scene because I think that it supplies me with a little bit more of a memory thing, so I can go back and like look at it, and it does actually help like re-jog my experiences because I've had just like like in the hundreds range, so it's just like trying to remember every single one is almost impossible. Like I almost envy the people that have had just a few trips so that they can like really remember what exactly happened to them and stuff like that. But I think there's just so many experiences that have been thrown at me that I remember just sort of a main sort of gist of it. And part of this is just because like since I'm drawing it, I can sort of recognize like the motifs and specific archetypes that I'm trying to follow to get like an overall understanding of it. And I think this was like a successful concept for me. So I'll try to explain like the trip that I've had, that because like most of these like I remember based on the image and like what time it was drawn, like what kind of trip I experienced. So I'll pretty much go into the first one. So this first one was pretty interesting because it happened in, I would probably say like 2013, 2014 or something like that. This was when I was like seeing a lot of different it was more toy like, and it was always trying to raise to like a focal point of some sort. Like I felt like I was on this weird sort of ride that would be really bizarre and just sandwiched with a bunch of different like there would be like chess pieces, and there would be like weird machines and like cubes that kind of look like toys, and like mixed with this sort of magician type vibe. So there was a lot of stuff going on, and like there was like weird tunnels and stuff like that. So I like in this initial drawing I would try to get just like the idea of it, like, and I saw this weird this panel thing that was moving, and it had like weird symbols on it, and it looked like the edges had like little balls that I think probably had like little star things on it. So a lot of the themes like that, like the style sort of it seems to repeat itself in a lot of my trips. So it's a pretty strange thing that it's so non-specific but reoccurring like that. It's hard for me to really make sense of it when I try to think like, what does that mean? What does this mean? It's bizarre to think that it would just be like kind of noise in the mind, just like weird things that it's coming up with. I always feel like dreams are sort of trying to tell you like a certain, or trying to give you a message of some sort, like whether it's your subconscious or something like that. I don't exactly know what the message is there, but it felt like more of a feeling, I think, like how it was rising to like this sort of. I was explaining that every time I would do it, I would rise to like some weird sort of control center, and this is like a weird place that like I would get a lot of deja vu and feelings like I've been there before. It's really weird stuff. I can't really describe it that well. But it's definitely an extremely bizarre place. Like if you think of the definition of bizarre, this is what comes up. Like this would be like the cover page of that. So yeah, it's crazy. And then so this next one. This one actually happened pretty early in my career. Like this was when I drew this when I was like 17. So this one was actually like this tunnel figure that was made out of like checkered like hallucinatory form constants, as they call them. But yeah, so this one had that, and I remember that it seemed like I kind of remember like the barbarian from Diablo 2 expansion, like any sort of the roars or like the war cry things. Like I felt like it was doing that, but it was like this tunnel thing. So it was really weird. It's hard to explain if you guys don't know what Diablo 2 is like. But I sort of mix those together, and then there's a little bit of a I would say an inspiration of like BioShock with like the masks that they would wear, like the splicers that they would have the weird masks. I guess it was in my brain, so it was like, I think it's really cool how it takes certain aesthetic things that you like things that you found the most aesthetic, and then it sort of sandwiches them into something that is new. And I think that's what artists are doing like that. Basically, I think that how to make good art is to take from the things that you found the best and the most aesthetic, and then try to create a new piece out of that. And I think that that's like the concept that I try to implement. And it's funny that the DMT trip seems to do the exact thing, or that's something that I've noticed. Like any of the most aesthetic things, like Venom and Carnage from like Spider-Man and stuff like that, or like BioShock, like a lot of the imagery around that. Like there's all these specific elements that I've been exposed to, and even like the Sonic the Hedgehog, like Super Sonic, and like Dragon Ball Z, Super Saiyan, whatever. Like all of these have a specific sort of aesthetic to them, and I think that that's what sort of the imagination wants to cling on to and sort of create something new out of it. And I think that that's what my art has been doing. And then this next one was back in like 2013 as well as the first one that I showed. And for this one, I experienced it as like it sort of opened this door, and then you can see in like the actual image, like it looks like a box, and like, it's like Pandora's box basically. So you open the door, and then there's like this whole sort of universe inside of it. So there's like there's just nothingness around the center of it. And then when you go inside, it's just everything. And then like I felt like I was passing through the whole sort of, it was almost like Doctor Who's TARDIS, and I was passing through the whole thing, and then I came out the other side, and then while I was going away from it into like the void, I would see like this weird sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog looking entity thing that was like small, and it was like putting its thumb up at me. Like I felt like it was like trying to like let me pass slowly away by like holding on to me and like letting me drift away. But it was really weird. Like, and that's again what I was talking about when I said that it takes weird things that you found aesthetic in your life or whatever, and like for this, like it was taken from like Sonic lore or whatever. But it's just cool how it was like a box of nothing, or there was like nothingness around the box, and then you just open the box, and then there's just everything inside of it. And then this last one, this one I would say was around 2013 as well. So this one was more of the card type motif, like playing cards and more jester like. Like this was, it was kind of like this weird sort of clown demon type thing, but like it didn't seem evil or anything. It just seemed like it was like an aesthetic that it was trying to go for. Like a lot of my trips look pretty sinister in terms of like the imagery, but also parts of it look angelic. So it's kind of I like it because it mixes those two dichotomies, kind of like it mixes like dark and light into something that's a more complete picture of reality and like the whole and everything, and what we have to deal with and like what we have to balance in this world. So I don't trust anything that's just sort of pretending to be all light and like no darkness, like, you know, like the church and stuff like that. You know, anyone that's trying to say that they only have one attribute to themselves, and that's light, is obviously something that you want to be skeptical of. I think like a well-rounded person is able to you know, really focus and make light of like the darkness that's inside of them. I know that Carl Jung has like a quote along that line. I can't really remember what it is. There's like two quotes that I can't remember that I thought was going to be interesting here. Like there was one about how artists, when they create something, they take from different things. And I know there was a quote there. I'll come up with it when I post this video. But that's pretty much, you know, it for now. I just wanted to show you guys what I was drawing in sort of my trips, because I don't think I've shared these specific drawings with you guys. They're nothing like special or anything. They were just like little sketches to get the idea of it. But I think that it goes a long way to sort of show different motifs and different things that are going around in my head. Because like I feel like I can understand more about the DMT experience when I'm sort of comparing all these drawings and sort of making note of them, instead of just like tripping and not having anything to show for it. Because if I didn't draw these, I would literally have nothing. I would just be like blank slate, you know, nothing in there. Don't have anything to recall. Because like if you just have too many trips, it just blends together and then all of a sudden just poofs away. Like that's what happens in my brain if I'm not looking at anything to jog my memory. Because right when I look at something, it just sends a signal to my brain. It's like, hey, you know, I remember that again. So I just want to end this video with, you know, my progress on actual like real technical art, because like I'm trying to get better at portrait drawing. So I'll just show you like the progress I made on my Selena Gomez drawing. I'm just finishing the hair and like the body, so it's coming together pretty nicely. I wish I could take a picture of it in a better way, but I don't have a phone with a good quality thing with me right now. I did at one point, but I will in the future. And last but not least, I will also show you some of my piano work that I've been working on, because I know I haven't showed anyone, you know, what I've been working on, because I've been working towards an audition, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get the pieces ready in time. I only had like two months to learn like 5 high-level pieces, so I told the recruiter that I was just going to apply next year, because I'll be much more ready for that, and they agreed that, you know, that was a good decision, and so did my piano teacher as well, so everything's good.